Today's episode is for you if you feel like you are now turning your business into a machine, or you certainly have the need to start doing that. So we're talking about being at a place where you have 3 or 4 as a minimum employees or freelancers. It can be a mix or one or the other. And you're trying to make sure that you've got systems in place, processes in place. You're trying to automate things more. You're really trying to make this company that you've built into a machine where you're not holding things up. You're not needed for every single part of it. You don't have to make all of the decisions all of the time, because you understand that if you can't fix that, then you're not going to be able to scale it. You're not going to be able to get to a place where you can have more sales that you can sustain. It's not always going to be chaotic. So this is an episode for you, really. And if you are not there yet, it's obviously worth the listen, because if you're thinking about these things in advance, you can go into these situations with your eyes wide open. I haven't made it a secret that Classroom Secrets went through a period where it grew so fast that we didn't really have time to consider what we needed. And we'd built foundations for a semi-detached house and built a mansion on top of it. And then we had to go through the painstaking process of rebuilding the foundations for a manor house and changing out a lot of the parts and cleaning the parts and getting completely different parts and all sorts of things I can bring to this analogy of building a machine and refining that machine. And what's lovely about the visual representation of a machine is that it keeps evolving. With a machine, you keep making it better, and it might have new features in the future, and the parts could change completely and the processes could change. It's a big machine. It's not a small machine where different things can change at different points and new technologies emerge and things get more simplified, they get more cost effective. And I just love the visualization of a machine when I think about what we've done at Classroom Secrets over the last 3-4 years, and what I hope I can support you with when it comes to really making sure that your company is running well. And it's a journey that we're still on. And in Education Business Club Tier 3, I share some of the things that we're doing now, as well as some of the things that we've done in the past. So I want to talk about team members and letting them try things. So you might be in a place where you're still finding it difficult to bring in people that you don't even know. And so why would you be in a place to let people try things? And part of that is worrying that you're going to lose control. And I understand that. I've been there. I've definitely been there. And it's hard to move through it. But you might be in a place where you think you can only bring in people that you know and trust. And it might be that you're thinking about certain activities that need to be completed in your business, and you already know those people that you're going to ask to do it. Maybe you're not going to go through a proper recruitment process. And I'm saying, right, this episode is about let them try things. Let team members come into the company. Let them try things. And I'm talking about team members you don't even know yet. And that can be really hard, because sometimes in the beginning we can feel people we don't know are the enemy when they come into the company. And it is a bit weird, to be honest. Let's just unpack that a little bit and why we feel that way in the beginning. So we build this company and it's technically our baby. You'll have heard that analogy before. You build this company and it's your baby, and you're very careful about who you let look after that baby. You need to know that they would make the same decisions as you and that they would look after the baby in the same way as you. And then we get told that we need to employ people and we need to use other people in our team in order to grow. And we think, hang on a minute, I'm supposed to talk to somebody once and make a decision of whether or not they can join my family, they can influence my baby, and I'm going to give them thousands of pounds every month for that. When you step back and think about it like that, you think, gosh, no wonder I'm hesitant. No wonder it's a worry. No wonder I have brought people into the team and I'm struggling to let them try things. I'm struggling to give up control in some areas. When we look at it from that perspective, it's completely understandable. But new people have the potential to bring new things into the company, new things that are good for the company. It doesn't always have to be your way. You can let people try things. And it is a journey. You're not just going to click your fingers one day and say, okay, right, try things. You're going to find that difficult. Also, that's not the best way either. But you can start on this journey of letting people come into the company and try things. If, as you listen to this podcast episode now, you really resonate with the stage that I'm talking about in business, then Education Business Club Tier 3 would be such a useful resource for you. You should go and check it out. You can join at educationbusinessclub.co.uk/join Education Business Club. Because I talk about things like this in that tier. So we need to get to a place where we're willing for people to come in and try things, and we let them try things. And it starts before they even come into the company, because you have to be clear on the right kind of person that you need. And that is a balance, getting the right person. That person who's going to challenge you and bring good things to the company, but also not walk all over you and topple the culture because they're a stronger person than you and they're trying to make it something else by pulling in a different direction or trying to push their vision into the company. Now, obviously, as you grow the company so much more, then you might have somebody who you want to take over that vision element, but you're probably not listening to the Education Business podcast. And if you are, then please reach out and we'll have a chat. That would be nice. So it starts with the recruitment, getting that right. And you might think that's an easy thing, but it's not. Because equally, it's very easy to take somebody on into the company who isn't going to challenge your ideas and the way you do things. But then in some ways, you're not going to get the help that you need, because while you might have somebody who can fulfill a task, they're not going to take any decisions off you. And there might be a reticence then to want to take ownership for anything. And when you've got a small company, you need people to take ownership for what will become the departments in your company. You need people who want to grow this thing with you, who want to go in the same direction as you. So what ends up happening then when you get the right people is that you dance. It's a dance that constantly keeps moving. It doesn't stop because you have to keep it balanced. It doesn't mean that you lean too far towards your way. It doesn't mean that you lean too far towards their way. It means that you're constantly dancing to make sure that it's always balanced. And it can be really hard to know if you're getting it right. Really hard. And sometimes you find out when it's gone wrong, that you weren't getting it right. But it starts with bringing somebody in who's willing to try things, but can also work within the parameters that you set for them, which are not going to be too restrictive. Otherwise, you're not going to get the results you want. And then the second element is actually letting them try things and setting up a safe environment to do so, where things can be tried and failures can happen. And this can be a really tricky balance, because it's easy to say, well, it's risk-free and you can take any risks. But if that isn't backed up with a real commitment from everyone for the company to succeed, then the risks can hit the company a lot harder than you probably realised. And you're the one who ultimately cares about it, and you're the one who will ultimately suffer. So you need to think really carefully then about how to create this environment where people can try things and you can move things forward, but also everyone has this commitment for the company to succeed. Because if the company doesn't succeed, ultimately you could say you will lose out, but everyone will lose out, because if a company can't pay people, then those people won't have a job with you anymore, will they? And I think while it's your responsibility to set up this environment where things can be tested and to let them try things, because that's what you want to do. You want to bring people in who can try things that you've never tried before, that you don't have experience with that maybe they do, that they have a passion for. While you can do everything to set that up, you can also only do so much. You can't control somebody else's mindset around it. And that's why it starts at the beginning in the hiring process, because you can't change somebody's mindset and help them be the kind of person who is willing to take that risk if that's not in their nature and they haven't done the mindset work to get there. And if you're further down the line in this, which we certainly were, then this is an opportunity to reevaluate the dynamics that you've got, what you actually need as a company to help you move forward, and how to make sure that you've got an environment where you let them try things, you let go, you release control, but not so much that it causes damage. You have to be willing to dance. That's the thing that I want you to take away today. It's very difficult when you're building a company and it feels like your baby to let people in. But that's a key part of building a business, to let people into the family and be willing to dance with them.